Welcome to Just a Minute. Thank you. Hello, my name is Nicholas Parsons, and as the minute waltz fades away, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this special edition of Just a Minute from BBC Television Centre. Every day, I will be joined by 4 fantastic guests to play this amazing game, the rules of which take just a minute to learn, but years to master. And the players will try to speak for just a minute on a subject that I give them, and they must try and do that without hesitation, repetition, or deviation. And by the way, they can repeat the subject on the card. So without further ado, please welcome the 4 wonderful, talented performers who this week are going to play Just a Minute. And they are, seated on my right, Paul Merton and Julian Clary. And seated on my left, Russell Tovey and Stephen Fry. Please welcome all 4 of them. And we're going to begin the show with Stephen. We'd like you to start off this time. And the subject is, tongue twisters. Tell us something about that in this game, starting now.
Well, one of my favourite tongue twisters is actually French. In the Gallic language, if you say Dido, as in Queen of Carthage, dined, they say, off the back of an enormous turkey, it's rendered as Dido, Dina, Diton, du, du, dunton, which is not bad. The seething sea ceaseth, and thus sufficeth us. It's quite a tough one to say. I, as a child...
Julian's challenged.
Was it? Was it repetition of 1?
Yes, you did say 1 before.
Did I?
Yeah, but I don't know why you didn't challenge him with that da-da-da-da-da-da.
And that
there was
as well.
no repetition at all in that. All different words. Dino, Dido, Dina, Diton, du, do, dindon. They're all different words.
And that's also the theme tune to the Archers.
Julian, a correct challenge. So you get a point for that. You have 39 seconds still available. Tongue twisters are starting now.
I won't be doing any French tongue twisters. How about this one? Peter Piper picked a pack of peanuts.
Oh, sorry.
Stephen challenge.
I thought he was going to say the proper one, and I thought he'd missaid peck. He wrong-footed me rather brilliantly there.
No. Incorrect challenge, Stephen. Yeah. So, Julian, you have another point. You have 32 seconds starting now.
Tongue twisters are very useful, I believe, if you go to drama school. It teaches you how to enunciate properly, which will be a boon when you take to the stage as part of your professional career or in films. You don't want to be tripping over your words and not being able to talk like a proper professional member of your profession would. It would be no good. You wouldn't get any work and your agent would phone you up and say, I'm sorry.
Stephen,
there were actually 5 woods there, which I think is too many.
All right, yes, we let 1 go, but no, there were 4 or 5 there.
Well, 1's all right.
Yeah.
2 is repetition.
Stephen, a correct challenge. And you've got in cleverly with only 7 seconds to go on tongue twisters starting now.
As a child, I spoke far too quickly and had to have elocution lessons in order to slow me down because nobody understood a word I said. Thus, tongue twisters were something that I was...
In this game, whoever is speaking when the whistle goes gains an extra point. On this occasion, it was Stephen Fry. So at the end of the first round, he is in the lead alongside Julian Clary. And let's move on. Julian, we'd like you to begin this next round. Oh, a delightful subject. My first day at school. 60 seconds as usual, starting now.
I remember my first day at school. I wandered down the corridor and I couldn't find my classroom. Eventually, a woman who turned out to be the headmistress, called Miss Kennefick, said, "Boy, what's your problem?" And don't look at me like that. And I said, well, I'm afraid I'm lost. And I was then put on a trolley and taken by wheel.
You challenged. What's your
hesitation?
Yes, it was. He deserves to hesitate after that. On a wheel. You're taken by wheel.
I was on a trolley, and I made that. I just came from nowhere.
Right. It was correct, Paul. so you have a point. You have 36 seconds. My first day at school starting now.
Always the first day at school seems to be a day of paranoia. A strange building, unusual faces, people you don't know, and you suddenly think, I must pull myself together. I'm the deputy headmaster. And so you wander across the playground and you say to the pupils arraigned in front of you, you are a beautiful boy. What are you doing on that trolley? Take that wheel. And they do. And I notice that all the other pupils around me look up to me and they say, you are the backbone of this educational institution. You are repeating yourself.
Julian, yes.
A repetition of you.
Yeah, you. Yeah,
very much emphasised there. So, Julian...
You can't keep your eyes off me, can you? Can't keep his eyes on me. What?
You're the only heterosexual on this panel.
Is that right, Nicholas?
No.
Who's not on the panel?
That was in a moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I was thrown for a minute. I didn't know whether to say yes or no.
Yeah.
You cleverly got in with 3 seconds to go.
Oh.
On my first day at school, starting now.
No one explains where the lavatory is on these occasions, and yes, it's true, there was an accident.
So Julian clearly was then speaking as a whistle and gained that extra point. And at the end of that round, he's naturally in the lead, but only just ahead of Stephen Fry, Paul Merton and Russell in that order. Russell, I want you to start the next round. The subject is things that go bump in the night. 60 seconds as usual, and your time starts now.
Crash, bang, kapow, zing, wallop. These are all noises. But we're here to talk about things that go bang, bump. Oh, what a roll. That's me mute for the rest of the show now.
Julian, you challenge first.
Oh, well, it was a repetition of bang, but let him keep the subject.
No,
I'd rather you did.
I think they're all going to be generous and let you connect.
Oh, really? Oh, thanks.
First time you've ever played the game, so lean forward because it looks as if you're more involved. And you've got 50 seconds. The things that go bump in the night, starting now.
So we're here to talk about things that go bump in the night. Have you ever woken in your bed sweating, twitching, crying for your mum? This is me every night. I roll over, I look...
Junior, you challenged.
I just want to point out, pausing is also not to be encouraged. You need to speak quite... I don't want the subject, but...
They've been very generous and they want you to continue in order to get some practice. Yes. So lean forward.
Lean forward.
And there are 38 seconds still, if you want them.
Yes, I'd love them.
Things that go bump in the night, starting now.
I find it terrifying to know what's underneath my bed. When I was a child, I really enjoyed the movie Gremlins, but I believe that they lived behind my parents' door and in their wardrobes, so I rarely went in there.
Yes, Paul.
A natural conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that pause was so long, I'll have to...
I'm sorry.
Right.
Also, could you lean forward?
Hanging off the edge.
Well, it does look as if you're more involved, Russell, that's the reason.
I couldn't be any more further forward.
No, that was a joke on Julian's part.
Oh, sorry.
That was his strange sense of humour. Paul, a correct challenge.
Oh, I see.
Another point to you. Paul.
What?
It's all right.
Hello. You can't keep your eyes off me, can you?
Yeah, no.
Hello.
Hello.
One at a time, please. Do you mind forming a queue?
It's that jacket, Paul. I've never seen you in such a smart...
It's not the jacket. I think I've seen that jacket before.
Yes, I have.
The deck chair, Little Lambton, wasn't it?
I don't mind if you make jokes of Mike Spencer, they get laughs.
Yeah.
Because I've been a straight man to many comedians, I know how to take it and come back. I don't know where we were, but... Paul, I think you had the correct challenge.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are 25 seconds still available. Things that go bump in the night, starting now.
Things that go bump in the night, often essential ingredients in ghost stories. One thinks of those Victorian classics of women out on the moors in... what was I trying to say? Ensconced, I think.
You
didn't
were.
say it.
It didn't come out.
Didn't come out.
Julian challenge.
Oh, hesitation.
Yes, so you got the subject of things that go bump in the night, 15 seconds, starting now.
I live in a very old house in the country, a farmhouse, and there are all kinds of things that
Stephen
Well,
Chance.
it's a sort of moot point, really, is it? Whether a house and a farmhouse is house repeated or not.
Anybody in the audience know? I think
It is one word. Farmhouse.
One farmhouse would be one word.
farmers. Well, so it was an incorrect challenge.
Yeah, I think it was.
So, Julian, you have another point. You have 11 seconds. Things that go bump in the night, starting now.
I heard this scratching under my bed. It turns out it was a badger going bump. I said, what's your business here under my boudoir? And it happened to be... Well, it's very distracting.
What?
You doing all this. While I'm trying to speak.
Would you prefer me to wait in the van?
So, what's the challenge, Paul?
Hesitation.
I
Gross
think
hesitation, in fact.
Yes.
Gross hesitation.
Well, the thing is, Paul, I'm rather reluctant to give it to you because there's only half a second to go. So I think, to be fair to Julian, as you were putting him off slightly, I give him the benefit of the doubt.
What, by putting my hand on my hip?
Yes.
And that put you off?
I know your game.
I haven't come here to be insulted.
Shall we carry on?
Yeah.
Yes, you've only got half a second. You start now.
Things that go...
Paul, challenge.
Hesitation.
Yes, right. So it's only fair that you both get a point. Julian, you got one just then. Paul, I'm going to give him one now, so that evens it out. You both got benefits of the doubt, and you've got a quarter of a second to go, Paul. Things that go bump in the night, starting now.
Bump.
Yes, So at the end of that round, the situation is that Julian Clary is now out in the lead. He's 3 points ahead of Paul Merton, then it's Stephen Fry, and then Russell Tovey in that order. And, Paul, we'd like you to begin the next round. A bad hair day. Will you tell us something about that subject in this game, starting now?
I went to Wimbledon Greyhound track the other week and they said, unfortunately, the meeting has been cancelled. I said, why? Well, we have a bad hair day. The automatic hair... What are you groaning at? You weren't there. The automatic hair will not come. I've said automatic hair
Stephen
3
Chance.
times now.
Repetition of automatic.
Yes, right. Correct challenge. You have 49 seconds. Tell us something about a bad hair day, starting now.
Almost every day is a bad hair day for me. I have hair that just sort of spreads out and can't lie down properly. It needs a great deal of attention. No matter how I have it cut, it seems to be peculiar in the way it behaves. If I do a documentary series, for example, you travel around the world and it's sort of edited together in different ways. So I go from a crew cut to a great, massive James May look to some other hideous appearance. I really do dislike the way my hair behaves. There's nothing I can do about it, really. I suppose I could shave it off. That used to be a fashion. I call that a bad baldness day. That's just not acceptable. So I have to live with it. It's some of the worst things that can...
Right. Julian Chance.
Oh, hesitation.
Yes, I think it was a hesitation. Julian, you've got in on a bad hair day with 9 seconds to go, starting now.
I had a bad hair day in 1989. It just wouldn't sit right. Well, I cried for a week, but since then, bad hair days have been a stranger to me, unlike some people that I could mention of the heterosexual.
So, Julian, Clary was then speaking as a whistle went, gained that extra point, and you have increased your lead at the end of that round, Julian. Stephen, we'd like you to begin the next round. Great inventions. Tell us something about that subject in this game. 60 seconds, starting now.
Well, perhaps the greatest invention of my lifetime took place in the late 80s and early 90s at the Centre Européen de Recherche Nucléaire, or CERN, in Switzerland, where a young British computer scientist called Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web. His original name for it was the Information Mine, but being a modest fellow, he realised those initials spelt out his actual name. That has been hugely influential twice.
Paul, you challenged first.
It was hugely.
Yes, hugely. Yes, Paul, tell us something about great inventions. 36 seconds available, starting now.
So many great inventions seem to have occurred in the last 100 years or so. If we look at the invention of cinema, which itself sprang from the techniques of the magic lantern shows, we can see...
Stephen
There
John.
really is no such word as lantern.
Oh, I'm sorry, was the 19th century pronunciation put you off?
Welcome to Just a Minute. Hello, my name is Nicholas Parsons, And as the minute waltz fades away, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this special edition of Just a Minute from BBC Television Centre. Every day I will be joined by 4 fantastic guests to play this amazing game, the rules of which take just a minute to learn, but years to master. And the players will try to speak for just a minute on a subject that I give them, and they must try and do that without hesitation, repetition, or deviation. And by the way, they can repeat the subject on the card. So without further ado, please welcome the 4 wonderful, talented performers who this week are going to play Just a Minute. And they are seated on my right, Paul Merton and Julian Clary. And seated on my left, Russell Tovey and Stephen Fry. Please welcome all 4 of them. And we're going to begin the show. Stephen, we'd like you to start off this time. And the subject is, tongue twisters. Tell us something about that in this game, starting now.
Well, one of my favourite tongue twisters is actually French. In the Gallic language, if you say Dido, as in Queen of Carthage, dined, they say, off the back of an enormous turkey, it's rendered as Dido, Dina, Diton, du, Dunton, which is not bad. The seething sea ceaseth, and thus sufficeth us. It's quite a tough one to say. I, as a child...
Julian's challenged.
Was it? Was it repetition of 1?
Yes, you did say 1 before.
Did I?
Yeah, but I don't know why you didn't challenge him with that da-da-da-da-da-da.
And that
There was
well,
no repetition at
okay.
all in that. They're all different words. Dino, Dido, Dina, Diton, du, do, dindon. They're all different words.
And that's also the theme tune to The Archers.
Julian, a collect challenge. So you get a point for that. You have 39 seconds still available. Tongue twisters are starting now.
I won't be doing any French tongue twisters. How about this one? Peter Piper picked a pack of peanuts.
Oh, sorry.
Stephen challenge.
I thought he was going to say the proper one, and I thought he'd missaid peck. He wrong-footed me rather brilliantly there.
No. Incorrect challenge, Stephen. Yeah. So, Julian, you have another point. You have 32 seconds starting now.
Tongue twisters are very useful, I believe, if you go to drama school. It teaches you how to enunciate properly, which will be a boon when you take to the stage as part of your professional career or in films. You don't want to be tripping over your words.